Hello, this is Heather, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to roll a henna cone for doing your own henna designs. I have done a video of this in the past, but it was really sped up, and I got some feedback that it could go a little slower, it could explain what I'm doing a little bit more, so that's what I hope to do for you this time. I'll also start from the very beginning, starting at cutting the cellophane and going all the way through to how to actually use the henna cone if you haven't used one before, how to fill it, just everything you need to know about using a henna cone. So I hope you enjoy the video and find it helpful. Okay, so here we have all the tools that we need to create our henna cones. The first and most important of these is cellophane, which I will have up for sale at artisticadornment.com by the time that this video goes up. So just cellophane with a print on it can be nice, but it doesn't have to have a print on it. I'm using one with a print mostly so that you can see what I'm doing a little better, as the clear cellophane is a little hard to see what's going on. But once you get used to it, the clear cellophane is very well priced and usually a good deal. Next I have this convenient tool. It's just a gift wrap cutter. My friend Jamila actually bought this for me when she saw me cutting henna cones, and she thought there is definitely an easier way to do this, so she showed me this. It comes with, it actually is folded in half, and it comes with the little cutting razor blade, very safe, safety razor blade right in there. You just take it out and unfold it, make it so the little ledge part here is facing towards you. Put the roll of cellophane so that the place where it's rolling out from is on the bottom. And then you want to cut strips so that you're getting something that will make a nice square when you're done. For me, with this particular length of cellophane, which I'm going to get a ruler out right now and tell you how long that is because I don't know offhand. So it's 12. It's just short of 24 inches. Actually, no, it's 24 inches. 24-inch roll. I'm going to be cutting it into 3 squares, so I guess we're getting 8-inch squares. So if you wanted to be precise, which I actually never am, which is why I didn't have this ruler out until I started talking and realized it might be good for you guys, you could measure 8 inches, or whatever will make a perfect square from the size cellophane you have, from your cutting point to the edge of your cellophane, and then cut away. I usually just eyeball it, because I've used the same roll of cellophane a bazillion times, so I just kind of have a sense for how much it is. But it's really easy. Take your little cutter, slide it across, and there you go. It's nice and clean and fast. And then you don't have to measure every subsequent strip that you cut. You just kind of roll it out so it is the same width as the last strip you cut. You just keep piling them up on top of each other. Once you start doing this, the best thing really is to sit there and make a ton of them, because it's a little bit of work just getting your stuff set up, making sure there's no dirt or cat hair or anything around that's going to get on the cones, because it's very staticky. So if there is dirt, pet hair, anything like that around, it will get on it. So you have to clean up nicely beforehand. And once you bothered to clean up nicely beforehand, you might as well sit there and make a bunch of them. For efficiency and video shortness sake, I'm just going to cut 3 for now, and put my cellophane and the cutter off to the side. Don't need this little razor anymore. So just going to put that back in the holding place. Alright, and then what you're going to do with your cellophane that's been cut in strips and is now stacked on top of each other is to cut it into squares. So I usually, if I don't already know what it should look like, just kind of by eyeball, which I often do, is just to fold 1/3 of the strip over so that you've got equal parts that are doubled up and not doubled up. once you cut those, you know you have 3 even squares. But if you wanted to be really precise, which I think is not worth it, you could sit there with your ruler, measure out that you know these are 8-inch squares, measure 8 inches, and do it that way. But this isn't something that you have to be that precise about, so I wouldn't bother. So you fold it over, kind of stick your scissors where the fold was, cut in like just a little, so the scissors are not open very much. Cut into it, and with the scissors open that much or even slightly less, you can just slide them right along. So it's a motion that's like this, you're not doing this. Alright, so there we go. First squares. That was 3 layers thick right there. And then just eyeball where the middle of the next bit of the strip is. And do that. Okay. So now we have 9 squares, because we had 3 strips, we cut them each into thirds. I'm going to take the first stack that we cut and make sure they're nicely lined up, and then cut from one corner to the other corner, because what we're going to actually roll these out of is triangles. So same thing with the scissors, you kind of cut in and then glide it across. And you have to keep a little more tension. The smaller that the cellophane is, I think it feels like the more tension you have to keep on it to keep it flat and nice while you're cutting it. So now we've got 6 triangles. And actually the next step that I do when rolling cones is to take my tape. This is the Scotch Gloss Finish Transparent Tape, which is by far the best for rolling the henna cones. And you want the thin one. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a wide one and there's a thin one. And the thin one is a better deal because it's less material and you don't really need that much when you're doing this. So what I'll usually do is go ahead and actually take out this cutter again and take little strips of tape and put them along the edge of the cutter so that they're ready to go, and I can just keep rolling cones and picking up a new piece of tape as I go. Just take off a little bit, put it down here, another little bit. They're probably 3/4 of an inch long. They could be 1/2 inch long, but it's just a little, it's hard to make them that small and still do it fast. So just take off a bunch. I have 7, 8, I might as well have 9 so I can show you potentially rolling all of these cones. Okay, so tape aside. And now when you're rolling a cone out of cellophane that's printed, you want to make it so the unprinted side is the inside, because depending on what the printing has been done with, there's a really good chance that the essential oils that you want to put in to a good henna paste will eat right through the printing. So you want to make that be on the inside, and you can feel it, just kind of like run your fingers down it, and you'll feel the texture where the printing is. Or if you hold it, there's one way where it doesn't really fold in on itself, and the other way where it does start to fold in on itself and curve when you just hold that triangle in the middle, and you want it so the way it does fold in on itself and curve is it's naturally already curving towards the way that you should be rolling it, if that makes sense. So it's like this, so when we roll it, it's going to be like this, but just tighter. So there are a couple ways to roll the cone itself. I'm going to first show you what I do, and then I'm going to show you what my friend Teresa has shown me worked better for her when my way failed for her. But for me, it's really quick to just take the cone, take this edge, match it up to this top corner piece of the triangle. You're definitely, the point of the cone is being rolled along the longest edge of this isosceles triangle. Saying isosceles triangle, this is where your point is. This is where the top of the cone, where the opening will be, is. So you just kind of fold it in on itself. That's the starting point. You start to make this very loose cone with a tail. Fold that tail over so you have 2 fingers holding the inside and your thumb holding the outside. So with just that, you're holding the pieces of the cellophane together. You can see that it's not a good henna cone right now. The tip is something like 1/2 inch big. So what we do is a twisting motion. So we're gonna holding the cone here so it doesn't unravel, and then twisting. The motion is this. I'll show you this way too. It's like this. Alright, we're doing that on the inside of the cone while holding here to make it pointy. Alright, so once you've done that, take the tape and put it on the edge. You can kind of see the edge of the cone. Put the tape so that it's over that. Wrap it around. Make sure that it lays flat, because if you have a bump in your tape, it feels odd on your fingers when you're trying to do the henna. And there you go, a completed henna cone. And one thing I tell my students for henna classes is that it's important that the tip be stabby. It's a good word to describe it. Like if you poke it to your finger, it should hurt a bit. If it doesn't hurt you a little bit, then it's not pointy enough and you haven't rolled the tip tightly enough, and the henna will leak out when you fill the cone. So if it's really nice and sharp, then you know it's not going to leak out the tip. So it's very sharp. Alright, so we will do that again for you. Here's cellophane. Wrap the cellophane around your fingers, bring it around again, and then do that motion like this while holding the bottom. Alright, take your little pre-cut piece of tape, put it around the cone. Make sure it doesn't overlap in such a way that the two sticky edges of the tape end up touching each other, because that also makes a little bump that doesn't feel good when you're doing the henna. And we do the stabby test. Yep, it's pointy enough and nicely closed. So 2 henna cones just to show you. Again, we'll do one with this third piece. Actually, we should move on to doing the Teresa way. So I'm going to try to move that out of the way so you can hopefully see what's going on a little better. And now let's see how this looks on the thing. We'll put a white piece of paper behind it for you here. And what Teresa does is she rolls the cone not by making a loose thing in the middle, but by rolling it tight all the way from the edge. And when you do this, you're making a point to keep that point tight the whole time that you're rolling it. And you just keep rolling it around, and you're using your same two fingers as before really to keep the inside nice and your thumb to keep the outside okay. But this starts off a lot better in shape than the big loose cones I start rolling and then tighten. You do still need to tighten it just a bit. If we did the stabby test on a cone rolled like that, it would fail the stabby test. So we actually still have to tighten it a little just by twisting your fingers on the inside and the outside like we were doing before, and tape as usual. So you get the same result, same henna cone, done in a different way. And I think that's a good enough demonstration of that for you. The next portion in this little mini series, we're going to fill the cones, seal them up, and then we will fill them, seal them up, and use them. Go through a few techniques with that, but I think we'll stop this portion of the video now and continue when I get some henna out for us to dry. Alright, so check out the next video in the series if you want to keep watching it.